Yes, hello everybody. Welcome back for part two with Teni of Style Territory. So it's going to be an amazing session again because this girl is just too much. All right, she's been giving us the truth as a young person, just telling everybody what it's really like to be involved in the fashion industry, particularly as a young person. So we're just waiting for her to join again. She's come back on. She's joining. Even me, I've been taking notes. I know that my producer have been taking notes because she's also is trying to build her own her own empire, big empire. I know will be at that same sort of level. So I'm hoping that you guys are finding it useful. All right, and Teni, welcome back. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
We really, really appreciate you coming back.
Thank you.
It's so insightful. People are just joining. You see, they're all coming back on again and joining, wanting to hear from you.
Thank you so
definitely
much.
Inspiration. Unique Imose says, thank you so much. Very useful.
Thank you.
You know, these are the kind of comments that people are saying. I want to give a few more seconds to people to join because the question that I want to ask you next is very, very relevant to what I feel is young people and how they can get around it, how they will manage the situation. So my question is this. As a millennial, one thing that we hear a lot about the fashion industry is that people say that it's very club-like, okay? And what I mean by club-like, I mean that they believe that the fashion industry is like a clique. You are either recognized as one of the members of the clique or you are not. For many, this makes it very hard for them to get into the industry or for them to feel that they can enter the industry. Do you think this is true? But I'm referring especially to young people like yourself. Explain how you see what I just explained or what I just spoke about.
Yeah, I feel like it's so true. Like, and that's it. It's so true. Like in the fashion industry, everything is like a cabal, like you said, like a clique. Like if you belong to this clique, things might come to you easily because you have people to refer you or put a word out for you or stuff like that. And but you know what I think? Even for blogs to carry what you do, even if it's nice or whatever, you need to belong to this like clique for them to, you know, carry what you do or support you or generally like that. But what I'm just gonna tell people is excellence can never be ignored. Like it can take a while, but if your work is excellent, if your craft is excellent, no, you cannot be hidden, period. It might take a little bit longer, but excellence can never be denied. Like it can never be hidden. And don't always look for shortcuts. Don't always look for, I wish I were this person's friend. That person is a person. The person doesn't have two heads. Like build your own table. And that's how I think. I don't have a lot of friends. I'm not going to think of myself like I belong to any clique, you know. I'm just facing my work. Like when you have excellence, when you mind your business, when you do what you're meant to be doing, someday God is going to like expose you to someone relevant to your purpose. And things are going to blow up from there. Like, and at that point, no one will be able to say, oh, I made you, or oh, if not for me, where would you be? And let me give you a scenario. Let me use my life as an example. Uncle Kelechi Amadi is one of the biggest photographer in Africa. And I've always looked at him like, gosh, Uncle Kelechi, like one day I'm going to work with him. And the way he met me was as on a level of respect, because I waited for my turn, you know. Somehow, like someone I worked for put me on to another job that he was shooting. And I made sure it was for the Olympians, like the bobsled Olympians, for Access Bank. That was the
Wow.
job.
Okay.
So I made sure that I killed it. Like, I'm like, because my thing is never to go to someone and say, oh, please, I'm a stylist, I really want to work with you. I'm not saying it's wrong, it's just not my style, you know. So I'm like, oh, I'm finally working with Uncle Kelechi, and I didn't beg for it. Like, I deserved it. It came to me as a result of me putting in effort and God's grace, you know. And after that job, like when he saw what I did, everything, like any project that is important to him, like he would always call me. And that's how I became Uncle Kelechi's friend, through integrity, through hard work, respecting myself, you know. So don't try to cut corners. Don't try to say, oh, I want to belong to this clique. I know sometimes it can be discouraging because you see what they're doing and how it seems they're going far. Face your work, face your front, you know. You get me? Like after a while, when you put in the effort, people will look for you. You know,
Yeah.
God is not a fool. God is not a fool. God that didn't make you know them from the beginning is not a fool. So your work has the ability to put you before kings effortlessly, in a very honorable way, without you having to beg. Like I said before, value doesn't beg, you know. So that's just what I think. Don't feel like you have to belong to any clique. You don't have to.
Well, let's look at it slightly differently now. Okay, you have been lucky, you have been blessed, doors have opened for you. Listening to your story, you might say you have struggled, but you haven't really struggled. Opportunities have come your way, maybe just because you're blessed or whatever. But let's look at the more ordinary person. If you're more of an ordinary person, they don't have your style, they don't have your confidence, they possibly have the knowledge, they have the desire to do what you're doing. How does somebody like that, how do they get into the industry? How do they break in? You know, if
Yeah.
they don't have that same opportunity that you have, how would you advise that kind of person? And possibly as well, to make it even worse, they don't even have any money. They just have a passion and desire.
Okay, so I don't know if everyone has been watching from the beginning. Like I said in the beginning, I started with 0 naira. I didn't have money. And you might feel like, oh, I don't know anybody. I'm not doing anything. You don't have to. I didn't know anyone. Collaborations. What can you do? Okay, you're a designer. Can you buy your own dress? Like this dress, oh, I'm a designer. God is not going to give you empty opportunities, because that's going to destroy everything. Like if you're not ready and you meet the right people at the wrong time, it's going to destroy you. So are you ready for the blessing you're praying for? Like a lot of people buzz me and they're like, oh, I'd like to send you this, or I'd like to send you that. And I look at it, I'm like, I can't wear that. You know, can you buy what you're selling? And the thing is, you might say, oh, I don't have enough confidence. You have to build it because you need it. You have to equip yourself with the right tools. If you want to get into the fashion industry as a stylist, you need confidence, because how do you want to deal with people? Like when you're with your clients, how do you want to own your own? So you need to do like self-development first, because you can't give what you don't have. A lot of people want to run from like the groundwork. You can't do that. You need to work on yourself. You can't give what you don't have. You can't like distribute the value that is not in you. It needs to start from you. Until it does start from you, there's nothing to sell, because people are tapping into the blessing you're giving. That's what they're buying. That's what they're loving. What are you giving? What is valuable about you? And you have to be truthful with yourself. And that's another thing. I do a lot of work. It's not like, oh, I just fell from heaven. I stand in front of my mirror and talk. I practice how I talk. I practice, and people might say, oh, it's fake. Okay, sit down there, be saying it's fake. I prepare myself. Like, if you want to stand before kings, you have to be a king. Queen Elizabeth, she just didn't fly there. She went through trainings, how to eat, how to talk, how to have conversations, I read a lot of books. Like my midnight is full because I listen to a lot of messages. And that's how to be confident. It's not just gonna fly on you. You need to do the work. You know, how to convince people, how to have a professional conversation. Some people can't even, some people will send you emails and you'll be angry. You're like, what is this? You know, those are the things you have to learn. Some people don't even know it's bad, you know, because that's just how they've been raised. But you have to relearn some things. You have to unlearn some things and relearn things that are like important for your purpose. So that's, you have to be deliberate about your life. You have to be intentional about your life. Even if you don't know anyone yet, you have to prepare like you know everyone. You know, you can't let who you know or who you don't know affect your preparation. If you don't even know anyone, you have more work to do. You get me? So, and I feel like the universe has been placed in a way that it rewards prepared people. Like, that's just how the universe is. Like, I feel like that's my own belief anyways. I feel like the universe will always reward prepared people. If you're prepared for an opportunity, if you expect an opportunity, it will come. It will come.
Guys, please send in your questions. I know that she's answering everything you want, but please send in your questions or anything so that
Please
we'll be
send me your questions.
on board. You know, she's ready to answer them.
Ask me anything.
So, anything I want, we'll say it as is. That's the good thing about the chat room. We like to just give you the answers because we want people to go out there and learn. We want the industry to get better. The entertainment industry, service industry generally wanted to get better. So the question I wanted to ask you is, while we're waiting for people to send in some of their questions, is this. You have worked with a lot of people. I mean, you mentioned earlier that you worked with, you did the campaign shoot for the Olympians, the bobsleigh team. It'd be nice to just talk briefly about that. But also, who are the other type of clients you have worked with? Have they been difficult to manage when you've been working with celebrities? Because these guys, the Olympians, the four girls, was it 4 or 3 that came? I can't remember.
Three.
When they would have come from, when they came from America, they would have come, I'm sure, with a little bit of what a Ghana attitude. You know, do these Nigerians really know what they're doing? You know, that sort of thing. Then again, they might have been 100% humble. So tell us what your experience has been like with the different type of clients and clientels, corporates or individuals that you've had to work with.
Okay, I feel like the first thing is you're always going to meet different people. So that is like inconsistent. Because of that, you always have to make sure that you're consistent, because you can't continue to change with everyone you meet. You have to be solid first. You have to be consistent first. That's the starting point. Now, you have a part you give mad people, and you have a part you give normal people. You know, learn
break it down for us. What are the different parts? Tell us. Let us understand.
You need to learn how to be polite, but firm. You cannot be a pushover. Never. You need to learn how to hold your own in a very respectful way. Have boundaries. My client cannot disrespect me. You can't disrespect me because you're paying me. I'm not going to disrespect you, but you can't even disrespect me because of the way I'll pull myself already. So with the bobsled people, do your research before you even start working with any known person. You always have to do your research. I knew they were going to be tired because they came and they had like short days. And you need to understand human psychology as well. I knew they were going to be tired. I knew they were going to be cranky. I knew they were going to be a bit impatient, not because they're mean, but because they're human. So with people like that, you can't just keep them waiting or just have things not working out. You have to be prepared. You have to plan very well. My professionalism, I feel like it opened them up and it made them feel at home, because it wasn't like, it's a Nigerian thing. Like, I gave them a global standard, like with everything I was doing and with the way I did it. So that's like the experience I had with them. And once someone is comfortable with you, it's very easy to work with them because there's no edge. There's no, you get me? Like, once you can make people comfortable, then they can open up to you, they can start laughing or whatnot. And I feel like that's the approach I've used on anyone, to be professional, to do things how they're meant to be done, to have like a global standard. Don't say, oh, because we're in Nigeria now, you won't iron your clothes, you just go and wear it for them or stuff like that. You know? So, and it's not like I'm perfect. It's not like I don't make mistakes as well. I make mistakes, but I'm graced. Somehow they'll just overlook my mistake, but it's very rare because I'm always very prepared and I always plan, you know. So that's just it. And other jobs, when I did like my Vogue thing, it was a white photographer, and that's why you have to prepare yourself on a
Sorry,
global level.
some people won't know what your Vogue thing was. Explain to us, what was
Oh,
your Vogue thing?
sorry. Okay, so my work has been featured in Vogue Italia twice. And then when I was on both occasions, it was a white photographer. So the orientation is different. We shot in Lagos, but they were white. The orientation is different. The work ethics different. That's why you have to train yourself on a global standard if you want to grow, because they don't understand African time because they're not Africans.
Tell me about
So
it.
when you're training yourself, it has to be like global excellence. Even if you're broke, even if your house is like a tiny hole in Ojuelegba, think like you're a global champion. That's where it starts from, how you see yourself. You know, I've done that as well, the Vogue collaborations. I've worked for Zenith Bank. I've worked for Axis Bank. I've worked for Union Bank. I've done shoots with, I worked with Burna Boy. I styled the models and everything for his Omo video. I've worked with Techno. I've worked with Simi. I've worked with Niniola, Nancy Sime, blah, blah, and all these people. So
On and on and on and on.
yeah, so yeah, but the thing is, where I get my fulfillment from is not really who I work with, is what I create. So it doesn't matter if I'm working with a celebrity or with like a normal person, is what I'm able to create, how I've topped my past, like the things I've created in my past, you know. And someone said, Ada, yes, I've worked with Sister Ada, I mentioned earlier, and I love her so much. I've worked with Bears as well, and yeah, so
They
that
work
is.
with, you can see her portfolio is amazing, and it covers a whole range of people, from music to celebrities to magazines and stuff like that. Debbie of Lagos says, do you have issues with body sizes when styling, or do you have a perfect body size you love to work with?
um hmm that's actually a really good question. I really don't have issues because most times I make like bespoke clothes, like made to measure. And the reason I started making bespoke clothes is because I don't want my client, you know, that thing of who wore it better. It
Yes.
annoys my soul. I don't want my client to wear something someone else has access to. So because of that, I started to make like everything. Most times I just make them. So because it's made to measure, I really don't have a problem with that. But that's just me. But on a general level, I feel like you need more experience to style a bigger person, because there are lots of things you want to conceal and hide and stuff like that. So you need to know what you're doing when you're doing that. Like, do like loads of research. And bodies are different, so you need to do research that is like tailored to the kind of person you're styling. Yeah.
Okay, Lolly D says or asks, is it advisable to pick a particular styling path or every path? So in other words, should they be concentrate on a particular type of styling, or should they just be a jack of all trades in styling?
Okay, once again, it depends on your purpose, because your purpose would influence your decisions. For me, my purpose, like I can style anything as long as I'm creating, because I get my fulfillment from just creating. So whatever thing requires creativity or me just creating something out of the box, I love it. So it depends on what your passion is. Some people don't like music videos. Some people don't like campaigns. So it depends on what you like and how you flow, how you get inspired. So, and don't choose something because of money. Choose
Yeah,
something based on how you flow. You
that's
know,
right.
that would help you a lot, and you can become an authority in that field. You have to check your inside first before you can choose. So I feel like that's the best way to decide.
I definitely agree with you. I say it over and over again. Don't chase money. If you have a passion, money will chase you. But if you're
Right.
chasing money, it's never the same. You don't always do it that well because that may be not be what you're that interested in. Seventh Street Styling says, "What is your typical work process? Say from the moment a client pays till the job is done." Nice question. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I do is loads and loads of research. You know, building a mood board. A lot of stylists don't like. I worked with the photographer and she was like, "Oh, you're the first stylist giving me a mood board," and I'm like, "How?"
Wow,
Like, so, so
that's
have
the
you been
standard.
working? And for me, I like to take not control, but I like to oversee like all the creative process. So I'm not just a stylist; I'm a creative director as well. So it
Hmm.
starts from me building the concept for the shoot, like the clothes, the makeup, the hair, like everything. Like I'm overseeing everything. And when I'm on set, okay, so sorry, let me break down the process. So I do my mood board. Mood board is basically you putting different concepts together for what you want to do. And then I present it to the client. So if the client is okay with it, we proceed. If not, I continue my research till the client is satisfied. And after that, once the client is satisfied, I approach like whoever person is going to be designing it. And I'm on top of everything. I'm on top of the fabric, everything. Like I oversee everything. Once that is done, once the garment creation is done, we have a fitting to make sure everything is perfect. And after the fitting, um, I'm overseeing the makeup person, the hair person, the photographer. So we get on set, makeup is done. As the makeup person is doing makeup, I'm looking at it like, because it's got to be what you have on the mood board. And another thing is you have to be passionate about everything, and you need to know something about everything. You can't say, "Oh, I'm just a stylist," and you sit down and not care what the makeup is. Because if the makeup is wrong or the hair is wrong, it's going to affect everything. So I oversee the makeup. Once the makeup is done, I dress the person up. I make sure that the hair person is fantastic as well. Then I start to direct the photographer. Yes, I direct the photographer as well. I've learned angles, I've learned light, I've learned like, so I'm just on top of everything to make sure that my clients get the perfect picture. So you can't just say, "Oh, I'm a stylist," and you sit down. You need to check, because early in my career, I've had shoots that I've done a lot to get like the clothes and everything. And when the pictures come out, you're like, "Who is this? Where? Like how?" Like the photographer can just mess it up. And then another thing is with my clients, I've learned to pick who I'm comfortable to work with.
Hmm.
Because you can't want to cut cost. If you want to cut cost on important things, then I'm not the stylist for you, because it's not every photographer that can deliver what you want, and you're the one that's going to blame for that. So you have to learn how to demand the best for your client. So I hope I answered that question.
Okay, the real Jennifer, this is a quick one. She says, would love to know if you accept interns.
Um, okay, so another thing with interns, I'm a perfectionist. I'm very fast. I'm very detailed. I've realized that when I have interns, I end up doing everything myself, and it distracts me because okay, I did a video shoot. I had 4 interns on set, and it was just too slow. Like, it was just too slow. So I've realized that a lot of people, like, it takes a bit for them to catch up to the pace, or for them to, I don't know if it's a bad habit that I have. I just want things done fast, and I'm fast and I'm detailed. And a lot of times I work with some people. I found 1 or 2 people that understand how I work. But that time to start teaching, how do you teach somebody that you have to be fast? Like, there's some things you just have to know about yourself. I don't know if I'm making sense. There's some things you have to know. So because of that, I don't really work with interns. I like to work with people I'm already comfortable with. But if I find someone that can work on that pace, that is fast, because me trying to tell you something, I've wasted a lot of time, and it's already affecting my mood, my energy, my clients. It's just a lot. But if you're passionate, and a lot of interns they're not prepared for what they meet. They feel like, right. Oh, I'm coming for Burna Boy shoot. Oh, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But it's hard work. I remember the last shoot, we were on set from like 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next morning. And the interns, I was still running everywhere. The interns were already like this. So I'm like, how? So that's just the thing. You have to prepare your mind that it's a lot of work. And a lot of people are not ready to handle that kind of work.
Teni, you're so right on that. I mean, I have it in my same business as well. Sometimes myself, my gigi wiry will be working like for 24, 38 hours nonstop. Other people come after 6 hours. Excuse me, sir. I'm tired, though. I can't handle this. We had one incident that one of the staff that came, he disappeared. We found him. Understand how bad it gets with different people.
Can you imagine?
So it's terrible. Debbie of Lagos says, how do you feel when other stylists copy your work? Do you feel flattered? Do you feel annoyed? What goes through your mind when you see that? Hold on a second. I did this. This was my style. How do you feel about that?
I don't feel annoyed. I don't even feel any type of way. Once I've done it, I've done it. It's behind me. Like, that's my past. I don't care about anybody else. If you want to copy my work, it's fine. I don't care about anyone else. What I've done is already behind me. My own purpose is to keep moving forward and to do something better than I've done in the past. So if you want to do something that I've done, it's okay. That is on you. Because I've realized that you can't give the right energy to the wrong things. It will drain you. So you have to be intentional on what gains your attention. You cannot distract yourself, So that's just how I think. I don't take all those things personally. Like, it's okay. And you can't do it better. You can't do it better than what I've done. That's another thing.
It's true.
So it's fine.
Okay. Dinma Collections, you've asked 2 questions. What you're going to have to do is watch part 1. She asked, how did you get started? How did you go in the fashion industry? We have dealt with them, so we're not going to redo those questions again. Please watch the video. It's already been posted
we've done
online.
1 hour already.
This is
the 2nd hour.
Yeah, that will be it. And I think that we're close to finishing now. So my final question to you is this, all right? Because it's been a long session. You've been so insightful. I mean, I've learned a lot, even myself.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So my final question to you is this, Teni. What advice or what would you like to say in closing to everybody that's listening to you? Anything you want to say, please just go ahead and say it.
Okay. What I like to say is God did not create anybody empty. Like, you have something special, you have something different, and it doesn't matter if nobody's paying attention yet. It doesn't reduce your value. Like, you're special, you're different. The world needs you. There's a place for you. So you cannot afford to give up. Like, if I gave up like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I would not never be this me, you know. You cannot afford to give up. Like, keep pushing, because the world needs you. There's a place for what you have on the inside of you. And I'm praying that God will help you, like Hannah said. God will give you the right circumstances and situation that would help you birth whatever thing is on the inside of you. Never give up. And whatever thing you're thinking about, God is the biggest businessman. He never wastes his resources. So if he gave you a gift, it's because you're the best recipient for that gift. So never underestimate whatever gift you have. It might not blossom yet, but there's a time for it. So do not underestimate what you can do, you know. So please don't give up, and please keep working hard, like put in the effort, you know, because the world needs you. So that's what I'm going to say.
Teni, you have been an amazing guest. I mean, we really all appreciate you. We appreciate your forthrightness,
Thank you so
your
much.
knowledge. We love what you're doing in the industry. You've clearly shown
Thank you
that
so
age is not
much.
a barrier to success. You know, God will continue to be with you. He has been by your side. He has been
Amen.
behind you. He has been in front
Amen.
of you. He will always be in everything that you do. We're going to continue
Amen.
watching your space, watching Style Territory, continue
Thank
watching what you
you.
do, being
Thank
inspired.
you.
Young people that are watching this, if you're coming to watch it later, you know, there is no such thing as Nigeria does not allow you to succeed. The only person stopping you from succeeding is yourself. The only thing I would say to people is that the path to get there is different from one person to another. Some person might get there in 1 week, some person might get there in 1 year. You understand? But you will still get there in the end. And sometimes the person that gets there in 1 year is actually far more successful than the person that got there in 1 week. So people
Yeah.
remember that the fingers are not equal. People
Equal.
should always remember that. So we get to different destinations at different times. So please, you know, guys, show your thumbs up, show your love hearts to say thank you to Teni. It's been an
Thank
amazing
you so
person.
much, guys. Thank you so much, Uncle
Elizabeth is saying
Shala.
you're a great, Teni.
Oh,
Thank you so
thank
much,
you.
Teni. There's so much. I've learned so much. Bronze Fashion says that. The thumbs up are coming. The love hearts are coming. Teni, we
Thank
thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you
I'm truly
so much,
honored.
Uncle Shala. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, love. You take care. Have a lovely evening.
You
Stay
too.
safe. Okay, don't
Bye.
forget.
Bye,
Kobe's
everyone.
still there.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody, I mean, that was such an amazing session. If you didn't learn anything today, you will never learn anything. That's the simple truth about it. Teni said it as it is. She gave you an insight into her life. She gave you insight into her confidence. She gave you an insight into how she works with God, how God works with her. She gave you insights into how she manages clients, you know, how her business started, how it took off, the things she dealt with. She talks about knowledge, all of these sort of things. These are all the sort of things that, guys, you need to take on board. It's been great having you. Fashion's Finest Africa has got something amazing coming up in the next 2 weeks. Guys, follow us, watch our space. You know, it's going to be something that you're going to want to be involved in. You're going to want to be a part of it. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing. We're back again, of course, next week. On Tuesday with Mahogany International, where we bring industry experts to talk about the hardcore nitty-gritty business with True Talk. Then we'll be back again next week, Thursday. We've got a guest coming all the way from East Africa, Tanzania. One of the hottest designers in East Africa is going to be on the show next week, so you really don't want to miss that. I'd like to thank you all for being with us and for joining us. Without you, we don't have a show. Everybody, please remember COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever you call it, is out there. Be safe and see you again soon.
Celebrate,
Good night, everybody. Debbie, we don't do anything tomorrow. Allow me to have a rest now. You won't kill me. 3 days a week is enough.